A new study into metadata, the seemingly random bits of information that get attached to credit card payments, found that with just a couple of pieces of that information, virtually anybody can be identified and tracked. It is a surprising finding, and our Lee Holtz is here with the details. I have to say, I found this report a little bit scary.
Well, should make you nervous. I mean, we're really being shadowed by our credit cards. You know? Metadata has been much in the news in these national debates lately about privacy and such, and it's been largely dismissed as being, well, it's not so important, doesn't really tell you anything direct, it's not the content.
Right.
But what, in fact, the group at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is reporting this week is that in fact, metadata tells you an awful lot. What is metadata? Well, it's location, it's timing, it might be the rough amount of a purchase. In this case, they looked at shopping habits. 1.1 million credit card customers shopping at 10,000 shops over a period of 3 months in a country undisclosed because, of course, the bank involved is kind of observe its own confidentiality things. And what they discovered was that with just 4 points of this metadata information, in other words, time and location information about visits to just 2 shops, they could pick out the unique behavioral pattern, that's all a shopping spree really is, of any individual with up to 90% of the 1 million people. And if they actually knew the price, they only needed 3 bits of information. Now, this is scary, I suppose, to those who care about privacy, because we are awash in databases from, you know, our phone apps, our credit card transactions. I mean, 60% of the payments in the U.S. are credit cards now.
And the interesting thing is then the story, they take it one step further and they say, well, if you take that little bit of information and add what you put out there publicly, hey, I'm Foursquare checking in here or whatever, they can absolutely figure out who you are and where you're going.
Well, it's not just they can figure out who you are and where you're going, they can figure out who you're hanging out with, and they can figure out things that actually you might not want people to know. Uber, for instance, this past November disclosed that its data scientists had been taking riders' trip information, cross-referencing it with crime reports in various major cities as a way of calculating whether or not its weekend riders were actually visiting prostitutes in the middle of the night. In the same way, researchers have looked at your pattern of likes on Facebook, and just earlier this month reported that, in fact, that pattern of likes is a more reliable assessment of your personality than the friends who know you best.
And then the bigger question is, we know there are supposed to be safeguards to your identity when you make purchases. When it's supposed to, they use the data but not your name. Or does this just go around all those safeguards and kind of show them to be ineffective?
Well, that's exactly right. And what the researchers at MIT told me is that basically, our ideas of data privacy are a total illusion. And people have worried about this. It has obvious implications for the very large data broker business as kind of a secondary market in this kind of information that we actually know very little about. And also has obvious implications for law enforcement. If I have a name, for instance, this then allows me to go into a database or a collection of databases and build a behavioral profile that'll let me find out who you've been seeing, where you've been going, what you've been doing. And the flip side for, say, a marketer or an advertiser, it allows me to kind of look at a pattern and then pull out a particular demographic or even a particular person for marketing purposes or for insurance or for health or for political targeting, who knows what.
All right, we have to leave it there. Lee Holtz, thank you very much. Very good story.